Hello, everyone, again. We're just going into the last session shortly. I just want to make sure that we get up to the allotted time. We're slightly early. It's not another minute or so yet before we can get started. So I see some more people coming in, so I just don't want to. Right, I'll start my very short preamble. As I said earlier, our last session before the Q&A is Ian Gemski going to do a live demo on Firewalls, which I'm sure will go extremely well. Let Ian explain that himself. As I said, building on what he did last year at Hardwick Hall, I think we still talk about that now. And that was, I don't know, a year and a half ago. Can't remember. But anyway, so I'll step out now and Ian will kick things off and I'll come in at the end just before the Q&A. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Felix, and good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining this session. Just a quick thumbs up if everybody can see the screen I'm presenting now. On the bottom of your screen, you should be able to see a row of 5 icons. In the bottom left, there is a square box there. This is going to be an interactive session. It's going to be a screen sharing session. We're going to go through some really exciting stuff. I hope you're really going to enjoy it. But I really recommend to get the most out of this, to hit that left button on the bottom left to get the full screen maximum view, so you can see the whole picture. For those that don't know how to do the thumbs up, on the right-hand side, you've got a panel with mic on, present, discuss, polls. If you hit that discuss button, you'll see an option to put a thumbs up. So hope you all enjoy it, and we'll get ready and get going. Okay, so quick introduction. Tekgem, we're a technology company. We primarily focus in the process industry, working with oil, gas, chemical, petrochemical, utilities, organizations. And we bridge the gap between information technology and operational technology. We help to support and protect our customers' critical infrastructure against ever-evolving cyber threats. I guess first and foremost, we're a technology company, but we also provide services in respect to the whole, triangle of cybersecurity, and that includes both people, processes, and the technology. And I guess, out of all three of those, probably the weakest link with all of that are people. What I like to term the human vulnerability. But with that being said, there are some fantastic technologies out there. There's some modern technologies that can really help everybody and help organizations in the process industry to overcome some of the challenges that we see day in and day out as we go about our business, carrying out cybersecurity assessments, etc., to help protect that critical infrastructure and mitigate against some of those challenges that we see on an ongoing basis. So hopefully, this demonstration will resonate with a lot of you guys, and will give you some ideas and understanding specifically around how next generation firewalls work in comparison to what we would call traditional firewalls, and how they can overcome some of those challenges that we face. So with that being said, this is going to be a bit of a technical session. Last year, we demonstrated within half an hour how to hack an industrial and automated control system. So, we hacked from the internet down through into the corporate network. And from there, we kind of did some reconnaissance, identified an engineering workstation, managed to pivot from that corporate system down through firewalls, traditional firewalls, and get onto an engineering station and basically modify the PLC process that was programmed and actually, cause a plant upset. So this year, we've got similar setup as we did last year. However, this year, rather than being what we would call a black hat, someone who's maliciously trying to attack some critical infrastructure, we're the good guys this year, and we're going to be demonstrating how we can use next generation cybersecurity technologies to help protect against those ever-evolving threats that are out there. So with that being said, a quick overview of what I'm going to demo today. So first and foremost, remote access is certainly something that we'll all be only too aware of, given the current restrictions around getting onto plants and getting onto sites. And we're going to demonstrate how next generation firewalls can provide that secure remote access into sensitive industrial networks using multi-factor authentication. We're also going to demonstrate how next generation firewalls can scan and block the transfer of malicious files, either over HTTP, HTTPS even, so even encrypted communications, we can actually block that. That the firewalls can block that. The firewalls can actually block malicious files traveling across file shares as they're copied from one computer system to another, all using the built-in functionality of next generation firewall antivirus. We're also going to demonstrate as well, which I think is really powerful, how to protect unpatched systems. So these are old, obsolete systems that we see day in and day out within process control networks. So Windows XP systems, Windows 7 systems, and the likes. How we can actually protect those unpatched systems that are vulnerable against, the latest threats and exploits that are being released on a continuous basis. And we're going to demonstrate a critical vulnerability that was released last year by Microsoft, and we're going to demonstrate with a couple of exploits that have been written to actually, exploit that vulnerability, and how using the next generation firewall industrial and intrusion prevention services can virtually patch and protect those vulnerable systems. We're also going to demonstrate as we go through how the next generation firewalls can provide that real-time network security monitoring to identify malicious activity in events and notify personnel of potential incidents. Finally, we're going to wrap up with a brief tour of industrial protocol protection and how next generation firewalls not only are able to provide basic filtering of network traffic, but how they really understand the actual protocols and the languages used between devices when they're communicating over protocols such as Modbus, OPC, Profinet, etc. So with that being said, I'm going to jump out of the slides and jump into our presentation. Okay, so for this presentation, we've got some Fortinet, FortiGate, next generation firewalls. I'm actually logging into the administrative interface of this firewall, and our first protection mechanism to protect against cyber threats is multi-factor authentication. So at present, it's asked me to authenticate using a token. So what that means is I've got some software that's on my phone, and I've got to press the button to get a code which changes every 60 seconds to allow me to log into the firewall to be able to manage it. And that provides extra protection against your bog standard username and password. So in addition to that, not only do we have the multi-factor authentication, the next generation firewalls are really intelligent devices. They operate in real time and provide a wide range of cybersecurity protection mechanisms. So they include real-time antivirus, real-time intrusion prevention, web filtering, and secure multi-factor authentication, etc. So to give you a quick overview of what we've got set up, we've got a connection on the firewall that connects to the corporate network. That would be a level 4 network. We've then got another connection down to a process control network. That would be where your industrial control systems would sit, so your DCSs, your SCADA systems, etc. And we've also got a WAN port, which is going to replicate, for the sake of this demonstration, the corporate firewall. So the first demonstration I want to show you is all around secure remote access. So this is providing access to industrial control systems securely through next generation firewalls. So this firewall has what's called an SSL VPN. And that enables authenticated users, like the one I'm logging in with now, to actually log into the SSL VPN portal and access resources on the industrial control system networks that have been assigned by the administrator. At the minute, this particular user doesn't have any assigned access to any industrial resources, and I'm just going to demonstrate how through the administration of the next generation firewall, how easy it is to actually provide specific access to specific resources. So what we're going to do in the first instance is we're going to allow access to manage the actual industrial network equipment that sits below the next generation firewalls. And so we've got a range of protocols available to us that we can secure through the firewall. And for this particular one, we're going to use a secure shell to provide access to that industrial control system network. So in addition to that, we're also going to allow remote access to what we would call a jump box. And that jump box would be used to, access other systems within a secure zone on the industrial network. So for this one, we're going to connect to a Windows server, and we're going to use the remote desktop protocol to secure that access. And we'll just type in the host name correctly, if you bear with me. And don't worry, Felix, I have actually timed this, so it doesn't run longer than 19 minutes, so I'm sure we'll get through it in time. So we've created some resources, and we're actually we're just going to update this to make sure that we can demonstrate what we're connecting to as an end user. Now, as a remote user to an industrial system or to a process control network, you could be a remote user in the context of connecting from the corporate LAN, or you could indeed be a third-party supplier providing network management services or process control services, as a vendor, as a third-party DCS vendor, whatever that may be. So now we can see we've published these two resources, both the access to the industrial network, so that this particular user can manage the industrial network through the secure VPN portal, and only the users that we've authorized to access these particular resources can get access to them. And one of the great things about this is that all of the access that we've allowed and we've configured through the next gen firewall is actually logged, and we'll demonstrate that in a second. So you can see that through this secure portal that is protected and encrypted, we've got full management capability of the actual process control network. We'll now click onto the jump box that we created, and we'll see that we can get a secure connection, again, through HTTPS, to be able to manage other systems from this secure jump box. This is completely customizable. We can, for example, if we wanted to, we could add access to manage PLCs, HMIs, you name it, we can add them as a resource. and as we can see, we're now connected to the systems that are located on that network and onto this jump box, and that is a completely secure and encrypted connection. So I mentioned about the real-time monitoring, capabilities of the next generation firewall. Every single piece of traffic or action that is carried out through these firewalls are logged. In this particular instance, we're just going to go in and view the logs that have occurred through the secure remote access VPN connection we created, and we can see the user Gemski logging in and to the destination host, the actual protocol used, etc. So this is really good to demonstrate, that all of your logging and monitoring is in place. This is really important for regulated industries, so industries that fall under the control of major accident hazards, or maybe are operators of essential services and fall under the NIS directive. Certainly the competent authorities, such as the HSC, really want to see robust management of logging. And this, these next generation firewalls really do provide in-depth, robust management and monitoring of all connectivity for that. So really important. Now, the next technology that I want to demonstrate is around antivirus and protecting systems with antivirus software. Now, we see again on a regular basis that many systems either can't be updated with antivirus on a regular or routine basis. So, for example, antivirus signatures are maybe only updated once or twice a year. Sometimes we see antivirus software not installed because it's maybe not compatible with a particular control system vendor or piece of software. And as a result, again, that leaves those systems vulnerable. But again, one of the benefits of next generation firewalls, specifically this typical next gen firewall, this actually does have the feature of real-time antivirus protection built into it. So what that means is that any file that passes through the firewall will be scanned as it passes through the firewall, and the file will be scanned for malicious software. So this particular website has a malicious file, and you can see that when we've tried to download the malicious file, we've been told that this has been blocked, and actually the firewall has blocked that malicious file from being downloaded. If we go into the log for antivirus, we can then see, again, just to verify the action has been blocked, that this particular piece of malware, in this instance, we're using a test file. This is an industry standard file that tests the robustness of antivirus software. So the next test is not only can we scan files that are transferred through HTTP or HTTPS, we can also test and scan for files that are transferred through all other protocols. So say if you're copying a file via Microsoft Windows, copying and pasting from one system to another. Here we're copying and pasting a legitimate file, and that's worked fine. This is, again, the ECAR test string, and this is classed as a malicious file, and we're going to try and copy that now. And we can, if we can see that this is actually failed. So what we've seen here is that legitimate files are being allowed to be copied through that firewall, whereas malicious files are actually being blocked in real time. If we give this a refresh, we can now see that, that test file that we've just tried to copy has been blocked. So the first log that we did was blocked via HTTPS, and the second file has been blocked via the file copy that we just tried to carry out. So not only does it protect against files being downloaded from the internet, but files being copied between systems and multiple protocols. So really a really powerful feature And for those systems that maybe don't have antivirus or don't have it updated regularly, this is a super mitigation to really start protecting your systems from those virus threats. So when you think about ransomware, etc., that's a big problem. The next session that I want to jump onto is intrusion prevention. What we can also do is we can protect against not only virus malicious files, but we can actually protect against malicious network activity. So here we've created a rule to allow remote desktop from the corporate network down into the process control network. And we're going to allow legitimate remote desktop traffic. So remote desktop protocol, it's used extensively. It's built into the Windows operating system, and we've allowed all of that legitimate remote desktop traffic to be allowed through the firewall. What we're not going to allow, though, is we're not going to allow any malicious activity that exploits vulnerabilities in remote desktop. So last year, Microsoft released a vulnerability, notified everyone that there was a critical vulnerability in the remote desktop protocol, and it was called Bluekeep. And that had the potential to allow attackers to gain unauthorized access to systems using a flaw, a vulnerability in that remote desktop protocol. So now what we're going to do is we're going to use a tool called Metasploit. So this is a penetration testing tool. It's used by both good hackers or bad hackers, ethical hackers, black hats, whatever you want to call them. And this would be a tool that we would use to actually, hack into a system using that remote desktop protocol to gain unauthorized access to it. So we're just setting up the exploit to target the system that we've allowed access through the firewall, and we're now going to exploit it, and we're going to attempt to gain unauthenticated, unauthorized access. And we can now see, when we look at the details of this, that the target is vulnerable, and this particular machine that we're trying to connect to is a Windows 7 machine, so it hasn't been patched against this vulnerability, and it really is vulnerable. However, having said that, the exploit has failed, and we can see that the hacking tool has shown us that that exploit has failed. Now, when we go back into our logs, rather than looking at the antivirus, we're now going to look at the intrusion prevention, and we can actually see that the next generation firewall has been intelligent enough to see that this was, an exploit trying to take advantage of this particular vulnerability, and has blocked that traffic. So again, it's letting legitimate traffic through the firewall, but malicious activity, it's blocking it. And those are kind of that's a little bit different to the antivirus. So antivirus engine is where it protects and scans actual files, malicious files. This is all about network connectivity and network communications, and we're blocking those vulnerable systems from being targeted by this exploit. Just popping into my mailbox, we've set up some email alerts so that we can see that every time the firewall blocks, we can get alerted and notified in real time as to that potential attack, that potential cybersecurity incident, and take action appropriately. And that can take place in real time. So not only can the firewalls protect, detect, but they can also notify us and monitor in real time to let us know when these attacks are taking place. So for the final part of this demonstration, I know it's been very kind of fast and fluid. We don't have much time, so I wanted to get as much in as possible today. But for this particular demonstration, what I really wanted to show was actually how the next generation firewalls can actually help to protect industrial communications. So for this particular demonstration, I'm going to show how we can actually protect OPC, industrial OPC communications. So what we're doing here is we're setting up a firewall rule that would allow an application server sat on the process control network to communicate via OPC to an historian that is potentially sat in this instance on the corporate network. Now, traditionally, a traditional firewall, we would select a service and we would use a TCP or UDP port. But for the next generation firewalls, we're just going to select all for that, because actually this is where the firewall becomes really intelligent. And we're going to switch on what's called application control. And the application control actually understands the industrial protocol itself. So the way that protocol communicates between two devices, the next generation firewall actually understands the detail of those communications, understands their language. So we're going to block all communications apart from OPC. Now, we do, if we wanted, we could also we could protect. I think there's thousands of industrial protocols out there, and these next-gen firewalls have the capability to protect against most of the more common ones. So, for example, Modbus, we can protect at the application level, at the protocol level. Profinet, for example, just a couple of examples on how intelligent these next-generation firewalls really are. So, not only, for example, being able to firewall at an IP address layer and level and a port level, but actually the values and the data that is flowing through those protocols. And so we're also going to add in all of the additional next-gen capability into this particular rule. So not only are we protecting and locking down, so it's only OPC comms that we've specified, and we've also got intrusion prevention and antivirus assigned to that role and assigned to that rule. So it really is, these next generation firewalls really are intelligent devices, real-time devices, easy to operate in many instances, web interfaces. Are secure, inherently secure in themselves with multi-factor authentication, and they really help to protect against some of the challenges that we see with obsolete systems and securely transferring files and removable media and not being able to have updated antivirus on a regular and routine basis, and the like. And with that, we will quickly jump back. So yeah, hope you've enjoyed that demonstration of next-gen firewalls. We didn't have much time to run through that. It was a bit of a whistle-stop tour. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope that gave you a little bit of insight as to the power of what next-gen firewalls can do. We'll be hanging around after the session if anybody would like to ask further questions. I'll be around for the rest of the day. My contact details are down at the bottom. If people are interested, we'll run some extended sessions. If you'd like that, please get in touch. Be more than happy to run through some of those with the wider team within Tekgem to help and demonstrate how these technologies can really overcome some of the challenges faced by the industry. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ian. Excellent as usual. And hope everybody got the most out of that. Obviously, Ian's made some offers of more detailed things later. We're just a few minutes over, but I think we've done extremely well today, actually. If it had been a face-to-face event at Hardwig, I'd have been probably tearing my hair out because we would have been way over. So I think we've done extremely well. I'd like to thank all the speakers and presenters. So we need to get out of here, everybody, to go into the Q&A session. So hopefully all the speakers or anyone who's around will go into the Q&A session. So we'll have a short Q&A session coming up now. So I'll exit So if we can all join in the Q&A session coming up shortly. Thank you very much.
Thank you.